Hey, my lovely Willow Vibes tribe members. I am Jessica from Willow Vines Intuitive Vibes, and I'm here to do. Oh shit. Ooh, that just gave me like indigestion from hell all of a sudden. And I feel nervous. I'm fine now, but like, I don't know, just all of a sudden it felt like it could be heartburn. I don't know. Or somebody's got that sour stomach or something. I feel really nervous. Which is weird because I don't know why I'm so nervous right this second. But the reason why I said, oh shit, I haven't even finished my intro. Guess it's not important right now. You clicked on, you're supposed to be here. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. I just dropped someone. So, well, you don't want to be here? Whatever. Not my problem. Um, Maybe someone feels that way. I don't know. But, anyways, the reason why I said, oh shit, was because I just did my makeup and stuff, which is fine. And like I said in a reading one day, um, I was picking up on my daughter doing her makeup right as she was doing it, and I didn't know till after the fact, and I mentioned that. Well, I had mentioned the eye thing. Well, yeah, her boyfriend had the sty and eye and all that crap, but my eye just started hurting right here. So I don't know if I'm being reminded of that or it's just my eyes irritated because of my makeup or something. Whatever it is, I'm being reminded of that. Okay, so I'm being reminded of that. But I'm being reminded of a lot of different things. So whenever information comes up on repeat, it is significant. Even if I said it a year or two ago and it's coming back now, it's important for me, the people around me, if it's meant for you and whoever as well. It's important when it comes up on repeat. There's also with the part of the repeating message, because it's things that are on repeat are important, but it's also there's some type of significance with repeating someone, like their actions, their words, and whatever without knowing. So that could be spiritual confirmation for some of you or other people or another person, whatever. Like, how did you know that kind of thing? Because you know damn well someone isn't, if within this message, you know that this specific person is not stalking anyone, they're not spying. So it's like, how else would you get this information? So someone can't wrap their head around something like that, but maybe they're starting to see like, okay, there must be some truth to something, you know what I mean? To whatever this is. But anyways, because I'm going to talk about a dream that I had, a couple of them, it depends on what's coming in. I drew that before. Oh. That's this. Theft dream. Okay. That's part of it. But I circled theft dream and did like a diagonal line right here. And the way that it looks is my circle lights right beside me, and then the angle of the ceiling right here. That's literally what that is. So maybe this one's the one that's meant to be posted, because I was going to say I've already gone over this in 2 different videos, but I don't like the way that I explained it. And it's funny because in the second one, that's what I said. I don't like the way that I explain the first one, so I don't know if I'm going to share it, kind of thing. And it's not about getting messages wrong or changing the information around. It's just the way that I deliver it, because before I sat down, I heard be direct with what you say. Be more direct. So there could be somebody in the situation who needs to be direct when they speak to somebody, like blah blah blah, like this is this kind of thing. But I feel like it's also for me to be more direct with messages instead of insinuating or beating around the bush. And the only reason I do that, if I know something, like if I know who the people are, or I just know what's going on with whatever we're talking about, no matter when it is. The only reason why I ever beat around the bush is it's not to save people, to spare people's feelings. It's not that. It's, I don't really want to mention names, especially if it's tied to unsavory messages, just because this is a public platform. So I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus, but trust me, I take note. And if it pertains to me, my family, and those around me, I know. So don't think I don't know. I just don't say everything. So there's the directness for you. Because somebody must be going, it's so confusing. You just beat around the bush. Someone must not know something. Maybe that's going on in your situation too. I know more than I say. And a lot of you do too. You know, it's reminded me of like a parental thing. Because you're connected to your kids no matter if you're psychic or not. You know what I mean? You're truly connected when it's family, when it's one of your children, or if you're a twin, because twins come from the same embryo, things like that, those are where true like physical connections come in, and you can get those intuitive hits. I'm not saying it's always mind reading and stuff like that, but you just get those feelings. Like, for example, before I dive into this, one night, there was a bad experience, and nothing bad ended up happening that night, but it could have. And I went over to someone's house. I knew them. I grew up with them. Basically, we went to daycare together. And no, it's not the twin people I've talked about, because there's quite a few people I went to school with that I went to daycare with too. We're all in the same area, you know what I mean? But I went there. Oh, the camp. The camp. His place looked like a camp. It really did. I don't know if it is. I think he's a mechanic. There's no problem with him. But anyways, so I'm just not naming names and stuff. Anyone who knows, and if they don't, you don't need to fucking know. You know what I mean? That's not the point of what this is. I'm talking about mother's intuition, father's intuition, parental intuition, when you're connected through your DNA to someone. You just get those feelings. Because I went over there, and then there was somebody else that I knew since I was younger, just because he lived right near where I lived, and we didn't go to daycare together and stuff, because he was I think he was a year older than me, something like that. But anyways, we had a good night. Twisted tea. I've gone over this before. It's funny, a lot of people drink twisted tea, and there's a lot of significance with that, especially within the energies I pick up on, because tea is a problem. And there are certain people that know who I spoke to and interacted with, and they know that that person drinks tea, twisted teas and stuff, but it's not him. And I've known that. Like, it's not Ronnie. I'm just going to say that right now, because I don't care about saying that, because he is not a problem. He was innocent in all of this. That's what it feels like to me, and if he wasn't innocent, whatever, but I strongly feel like he was innocent in all this crap. It's like being a pawn in this game that you don't even know you're playing. That's where he comes into play, because I had feelings for him, because I'm the target in a lot of different within this energy, because people don't like what I can do, because their fuck shit gets revealed. It's nice to speak up and tell the truth, and a lot of people say they want that, but when the truth comes out, or their truth comes out, they get pissed. So suck a dick, bitch, is what I want to say. Or maybe someone wants to say that to me. No thank you. I just heard in my head, no thank you, I don't like shrimp. Oh man. So anyways, back to the intuition thing. I was there, and we had etched in a butterfly, PBR, the Pibber ribbon, because we each did something on this twisted tea bottle. And I still have the bottle, actually, because I did the butterfly. The guy who lived there did the Pibber thing, because that's what he liked to drink. And then this other person that lived near where I grew up, basically at the end of the road, he, whew, I'm not nervous. Whoever's nervous needs to not be, because it's driving me nuts. But anyways, I don't know. I think he put his initials on it or something. It, but regardless, it was just with a glass etcher. So we're having a good time until the person who lived there left for a booty call, basically. And I was like, oh crap, because we've been drinking, and I didn't want to sleep with the other person. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to sleep with either one of them, you know. But there was a loft. Got to climb a ladder to get up to the loft, because we were in like a living room area, whatever. And I think the loft was above the kitchen or something, because it's just a small little place. And that's where we were gonna sleep. And I made it clear, I'm like I don't want to even sleep next to you, kind of thing, because that's not really what I wanted with this. And he's like, oh no, it's fine, we're just gonna go to bed. And I was like all right, like I don't want to drive, basically. So I went up there, and then he started getting handsy and trying to get down my pants. He wasn't listening. And that is the fucking truth. I even told the person who lived there after the fact what happened, because I was like, fuck this. Like, and then I got myself in another situation with that stupid person. But I had a very hard time sticking to my guns, especially when you feel uncomfortable. Like, you put yourself in bad situations. That's why I try to prevent that for my children and, you know, myself now. It's like I don't want to be put in situations where I have to defend myself or take a stand like that. It's like that shit shouldn't happen anyways. But anyways, regardless, he just wasn't listening. So I got up and I sat on the front porch, and I was like trying to sober up. I'm just like, I just need to be sober enough to drive. Like, fresh air will do me good. And I was like so upset that my mom picked up on it. She couldn't sleep, and she didn't know why. And by the time I was sober enough to like go, I took off, and I was halfway home. I was in the town of Gray. There's a lot of significance with the town of Gray in these different things. But anyways, I was driving through Gray, and she had called me, and she goes, "Is everything all right?" And I was like, "It is now. It is now." And I can't remember if I explained it to her or not, but it's like she knew that I was in a bad situation. She felt it. She just didn't know what it was about. And that's what I talk about with intuition anyways. You might not know why you feel the things you feel. You might not know why you're worried about someone or why you don't want to do this or that. Just trust yourself. Who gives a fuck what the reason is, you know? So listen to yourself. So there's an example. And I was an adult, you know? It's not like I was this young teenager. It's just I had, to be honest, I had issues with authority, but not in a combative kind of way. I had a hard time standing my ground, basically, and like, no means fucking no, and it does. And I'm very adamant on that. Like, now, if I tell you no, I'll kick you right in the face. I'm just saying. But I wasn't always this strong. You know, strength comes with time and healing and learning lessons. You know what I mean? And self-love. I didn't really care about myself at the time. So you tend to let people cross the line when you don't love yourself, you know? And when you do, you go, no. Like, you have no fucking right. So there's growth there with me personally, but it's a learning curve, and it happens to a lot of people. Young, it doesn't matter how old you are. But really listen to your intuition with certain things, no matter, just don't second guess yourself. Just don't second guess yourself, is what I really want to say with that. So the next thing that I want to bring up, because that is not what I was going to say at all. It really wasn't. Which, you know, surprise, happens all the time in my readings, just saying. Okay. So, a lot of you know that a lot of different people have lived in my house. You know, I've tried to help a lot of my son's friends and stuff over time, you know, during different time periods. And So it's been kind of a revolving door, I guess you could say, and it's really not anymore. It's like the last stragglers is going to be swept out here soon, and that's not even with one of his friends. It's the only reason I say that is because it ties into this dream that I had like a year and a half ago, and I didn't really think of it that way before. Something to do with a blue shirt. Someone might have a blue shirt, and copper is significant. A blue shirt and copper. Okay. But anyways, I didn't really know what the hell it was when I first had the dream, because it was during some very intense energy, and I was like, well, what the hell? Like, there's a lot. It was just craziness. It really was. But the people in my dream are the people who have been in my home. I'm just saying. They know my home. They know where I am. They've lived here before, stayed here, visited, whatever, whatever label you want to say. But it was in that dream. And I'm not saying this to alarm anyone, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen or it can happen in my house or whatever. I'm just saying that it's kind of ironic, isn't it? That I had that dream back then, and it's playing out now, like in different ways, because the dream itself has different aspects to it. So it's not like something like that's just gonna happen all at once. It's like different segments ultimately, because I guess that's how you can look at your dreams as well, because even if from start to finish you remember it and it's like, oh, that's all gonna happen, no, there's symbolism in dreams for one, and it's also different people. So it could be like, well, this part of the dream is going to happen over here, this part's going to happen over there, that type of shit. It just depends on what the dream is and what you feel with it and whatever. So this dream, I was asleep in the dream, and two guys walked into my room. One was really tall, and one of the people who stayed here is 6'7". I'm just gonna say he's either 6'6" or 6'7". He's pretty fucking tall. And it's weird because in the dream, I was like, because there was a tall guy and a smaller guy, and the smaller guy was thin. I just remember him being thin and scrawny, and he was wearing a black hoodie. I forgot about that. He was wearing a black hoodie. But anyways, he was on the thinner side, and he was small. He was way smaller than this other dude. But I was like, I didn't know who they were. And at the time, I think when I shared it, because I did share this dream, one of them reminded me of my son, but he didn't look like my son. And I was like, I don't know what that's about, you know what I mean? But these people, these guys, call me mom. But they're not my children. Just saying. Well, the tall one who was here, I'm so fucking worked up for some reason. I don't know why. The tall one that was here, that stayed here temporarily, because actually both the people that lived here temporarily are pretty fucking tall, but one's way taller than the other. He was really thin when he lived here because he had just gotten clean from, I think it was only a few months clean from doing ice. We'll just leave it at that. And other crap. And he lied to me while he was here because he would go off with his friends and do fucked up shit and thought I didn't know, which was why I couldn't stand him being here. I was like, no, you're bringing your fuck shit here, go away, kind of thing. Because I thought he wanted help, he wanted to be on the straight and narrow. Nope, he didn't. He just wasn't ready for that at the time. But he was really tall and he looked like Gumby. He was super, super thin. Well, since he got out of jail and stuff, he wasn't doing anything. I don't know what the fuck he's up to now, but he is making shit choices now, I'm just saying. I've already heard all about it. So it's not just my intuition. I literally know these things. But anyways, I'm not going into detail because that's not the important part. He's on the chubbier side now. I'm not calling him fat or anything, but he's literally the size of the man that showed up in my dream. And I was like, because of course I didn't piece it together at the time, because he didn't look like that person. So I'm like, who's this tall, bigger guy? I'm saying, just saying. But anyways, They walked into my room in the dream. The tall one and the littler one, and they sat. The little one sat on my bed, the thinner one, and woke me up. It was like, hey, you gotta get up, like wake up, and I knew them, so I was like, what is it? What's going on? Why do I have indigestion? Why do I keep burping? I was like, what is it? What's going on? And they were there. I can't remember what the conversation was exactly, how they said it to me, but they were there to kill me in the dream. They were there to rob the house and to kill me. And I was, I remember they told me, don't worry, it will be quick, you won't feel a thing. Because they didn't want me to suffer. They didn't want to torture me. They just wanted to make it quick. So it's like they cared. It's like, yeah, you really fucking care if you want to do that to someone, just saying. But that was their intention, was to kill me. But I feel like it was in a subtle way. And I've had other dreams that kind of corroborate that, just saying. But anyways, so I'm sitting there, and the tall one, the bigger one, walked around my bed, which when I had this dream, my bedroom was set up different. The way it's set up now is exactly how my room looked in the dream, because when he walked around my bed, he walked into a lit room, a lit closet, like there was a light on. And I remember when I was reflecting on the dream, I was like, I don't have a light in my closet or anything, and maybe it's representing a different room, or you know what I mean. And I do now. I record in my closet. There's a light in here. It's all lit up. And that's exactly where the man walked to in the dream, was a lit up closet. And I was like, okay. So that's kind of weird that I'm recording in here, because I had no thoughts of doing that. I didn't know where to put my clothes or anything like that. So I was just like, it didn't make any sense when I had the dream, but it's making sense now. And I remember asking them, I said, can I at least have a cigarette before I die? And they're like, I don't think we're allowed to let you do that. And I was like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? This house is full of fucking people. Because there was not just them. There was more people in the house who were part of this, who were helping them steal my shit. I don't fucking know. Because there's multiple people involved. And I was like, I'm not going to go anywhere. And they're like, okay. So I walked down to the basement, and I'm sitting in front of the washer and dryer, just having a cigarette, listening to everyone above me walk around, move around. Like, it's weird because in the dream, when I was sitting there, I'm like, well, isn't this some fucking bullshit? Like, you guys suck ultimately. And I was trying to think of what to do, but I was getting visions of them while I was sitting down there, which actually I would get visions. I get visions everywhere. It doesn't matter where I am. I pick up on energies. And I was getting visions while I was down there in the dream, because I remember in my mind I saw somebody carrying like a dresser out the front door, and they were going in the living room, like looking at all my stuff, going, yep, this is valuable, not that, yeah, that is not that. And but I wasn't upstairs to see it. Do you know what I mean? So it was either their thoughts or what they were doing. That's what it could represent. Maybe someone's scoping a place out. Like, oh, I know what so-and-so has, and I know exactly where it is, and blah, 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 whatever, because I'm telling you, the people that lived here, they're on a bad path, and one of them is a known thief. A known thief, and actually two of them are. But anyways, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities. So I go upstairs because I was done with my cigarette, and I was like, well, I gotta figure out what to fucking do here. And I get halfway up the stairs, and I hear an ex of mine start making fun of me. Like, he was saying something about, he had a pubic hair in his mouth, he spit it out or something, and he was basically saying really derogatory things about me, like sexually and whatever. Maybe he was calling me a fucking prostitute, a whore, all kinds of shit. And I got so pissed about him lying, because I didn't know who he was talking to, but I heard him. I'm like, oh. So I go upstairs, but the door was almost cemented shut, like somebody put cinder blocks in front of it, so I could, like, they were gonna lock me in the basement. And I was like, you son of a bitch. So I friggin' like rammed the door, which actually in real life, I took a sledgehammer to the bedroom door when he moved out, just saying. But anyways, so that's kind of, because he locked me out of the room. That's kind of weird. I didn't even connect that before, but just different actions, like separate situations and shit. But anyways, I was so pissed off about the lies and the bullshit that I busted through the door. And when I get up there in the kitchen, he's standing there wearing a Hawaiian shirt. And I was like, huh? Um, actually, in real life, he keeps saying he wants to buy a Hawaiian shirt. Like, he doesn't have one, but this person keeps saying that. But anyways, um, I chewed him out. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you lying about me? What is your fucking problem? And I think he was just feeding me more bullshit in the dream, basically, because this is all a dream. And I was like, fuck you. And I took his shirt where the buttons are and I ripped it open, which in a dream is exposing someone. It's like, you want to lie about me? You want to cause problems? You want to act this way? I'm going to expose your ass. And that's what I did in the dream. Like, pop the buttons right off the shirt. And then all of a sudden he had a leather coat on. So he was still wearing the Hawaiian shirt, but he put on like a biker's coat. Like he was a badass or something. And I literally looked at him and I said, in the dream, I'm like, you look ridiculous. Like, you look dumb. Like, why? This doesn't match nothing. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know? That was that part of the dream. And then my babysitters, apparently the two guys that were in my room that wanted to kill me, they weren't paying attention. So I walked out the front door and I didn't sneak out. I just walked out the front door and I was getting ready to get into a car. And because one car was black and it was parked like this, and then there was another vehicle that was parked like that, so kind of like a T almost. And what's really weird is the vehicles were parked that way this morning. And I had this dream like a year and a half ago or something. So the vehicles were literally parked like that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But anyways, in the dream, I get into the car. I was going to get into the car. And then this car full of, they were either Asians, Chinese people, whatever, that descent, got out of the vehicle that pulled in. And they started shooting at me with like automatic rifles and stuff. And it was just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like hiding beside the car, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't have a weapon. I can't shoot back, you know? Well, I ended up finding one because I think, I don't know, it was on the ground, it was in the car, whatever it was in the dream, I grabbed one. And I ended up shooting back with my eyes closed. But you know, it's kind of weird with that, like in the dream space, I always say in readings, like I see better when my eyes are closed, or you do, or whatever, because you kind of shut everything out. It's your intuition. So it's almost like you can take all these shots at your target, you know, and still miss, or you know, a few shots might get through, but it's not going to take him down, kind of thing, whether it's verbally, physically, whatever. So it's like say and do whatever you want, but you guys suck, your aim is crap, and I don't even have my eyes open, and I'm going to hit my target every fucking time. You know what I mean? That's what that felt like, because I was literally like, and I went back into the house in the dream. And then from that dream, I woke up. And, because I don't feel like anyone's going to literally come and shoot up a place. Like, it's symbolism in a dream. It's like taking a shot at someone. It's like you can just run your fucking mouth and blah, blah, blah to everyone. But when I say things, they matter. Like, it's different. It's like, if I'm going to take a shot at you, I'm going to be direct. Oh, be direct. There we go. So that's where that message is coming in. Before I get into the other dream, because the other thing that's reminding me with the target practice and stuff and shooting is I did say Gray was significant, and I was like, I think it's a town, and it is in the state, Gray, Maine. I just said I was driving through when my mom had called me at that time, but There's one of my son's friends and my daughter's boyfriend's friend. Somebody just recently befriended who knows these other people too. They all know each other. They all know each other. He was just recently, the other day, in Gray at the shooting range, learning how to shoot an automatic rifle. And I was like, he brought the target thing in and showed me and everything. So there's something significant with that. The weapons aren't his, they're his friends or something, but I think I don't know why I was picking up on that, to be honest. I really don't. I have no clue why that's coming up. I do know that his mother had come through, and I mean, I saw the memorial cup that's for her that he brought. Like, I know nothing about this kid, about country. And that's something to do with the triangle. Part of triangulation. Someone's part of something, I don't know, but whatever. He literally did that, so there's that's there. Okay, that's not significant right now. So the other part of the dream, well, the other dreams, because I think it was the same night or like back-to-back nights when I had these dreams. The other one, because I wrote this down in a book somewhere, I was reminded of it. Barcodes and copper is what I wrote, and old tech. Well, there was one dream where the bedroom downstairs in my house was, the door was cracked open, and I saw a man in there ripping barcodes off things. Like, he had a bunch of stuff. I don't know, like just shit from a store or whatever it was. He just had things, and he's tearing the barcodes off because it was representing theft. Like, someone's like, oh, I gotta get rid of this shit. I gotta get rid of the evidence that I stole something or that something's stolen, because that's what it seemed like in that dream. And then he never saw me though, but he was also, there's some significance with copper too for some reason. And I don't remember exactly what it was, because I wanted to get out of the house because everything was dark, and I was like tiptoeing, like, I gotta get out of here in the dream. And I went to walk into the garage, and it was blocked by a bunch of TVs, like old TVs, which can represent old technology, surveillance of some kind, like cameras, whether it's, I don't know, something that's it's not brand new or updated, but somebody can see or hear or whatever. There's something that's being recorded there. So it's like a barrier. Anytime someone walks into that area, it's like, oh, you can see what's going on, kind of thing. That was in the dream. And so I just kind of peeked my head around the corner, because I was like, well, if everyone can see me, I don't want to go out there. If everyone can see me, I don't want to go out there. So I don't know what that's about. But I looked out, and all there was a single desk, like where the tool benches and shit are in the garage. There was nothing in the garage except for one desk. And the desk was an old desk that actually one of my exes had. I don't know if he still does. I have no clue. That's what it reminded me of. So it could be anything, because I'm pretty sure that desk was pretty common, just saying. That's all that was out there, was just a desk. And I was like, I ain't fucking going out there. I was too afraid to go. I didn't want to be seen in that dream for some reason. So someone doesn't want to be seen doing something. They don't want to get caught doing something. And it could have to do with security cameras and shit like that. Yeah. So those were those dreams, and they seem significant. So the letter S is significant as well. S. But that looks like 8. The number 8. My lips are burning right now for some reason. Probably because they're dry. The number 8. Doesn't feel like the infinity symbol says the number 8. Is there anything else that I should say in this one? Because no, I don't feel like there's anything else to say in this one. because like I said, there's other stuff that I'm going to bring up, and I don't know. One of those other videos I might post. If not, I will put the other information in a different message, because I kind of want to keep it clear and separate. So don't be like, oh, don't be surprised if there's different videos coming out that are connecting dots and dream shares and symbolism and I don't know, just figuring crap out type stuff besides just reading cards. Yeah. Blank space. Blank space. Don't have. Someone doesn't have enough space. Something to do with space. It could be like space and I don't have enough room for this shit, or blank space. Like, excuse me, outer space, spacing out, blank space. Prepare for liftoff. Oh, because that happened before I came up here to record the first time, which I don't know if I was going to be on here or not. I was doing this. Like, I was preparing for liftoff, like with a joystick or something. So something's getting ready to take off, to take flight. But I don't know if that... Now I'm thinking of a rocket. Like, prepare for liftoff. I don't know what kind of devices they have in a rocket to take off, if it's a button or if they have to pull a lever. But in planes, airplanes and stuff, for aviation, you go... to go. Blank space. Prepare for liftoff. Something to do with a frying pan? Could be cast iron, but there's something significant to do with a frying pan as well. I don't know. Whatever that is for you, but with a dot in the middle. This is making me... Okay, so if it's representing a rocket ship going up, outer space, universe is so vast. There's multiple universes or galaxies and stuff. Like, we haven't even touched the surface on what's out there, you know what I mean? We're just this little dot in the grand scheme of things. Because that's what this is making me think of. So it's almost like explaining the unexplainable, the supernatural, the paranormal, the whatever you want to call it. You know? Because if you think about it, people would be like, mind reading, that's just out of this world, that don't make sense, it doesn't exist. Aliens don't exist. Being a psychic, a medium, that shit doesn't exist. Spirit isn't there. You know, a lot of you do believe in that, but there are skeptics out there, and it's totally fine to be skeptic. Like, there should be a healthy level of skepticism with certain things, just because you don't want to be taken for a ride, you know what I'm saying? But if you really think about it, if we're just this little dot, because the universe, the galaxies are so vast, there could be... How can there not be otherworldly things? Do you know what I mean? How can there not be aliens? How can there not be supernatural beings, different dimensions, these abilities? You know what I mean? There's a time warp here as well, because time is man-made. So, okay, yeah. Oh, it has something to do with outer space too, because if you think about it, I'm not talking about wormholes and black holes and stuff, because isn't a wormhole where you can like jump through time, and a black hole just absorbs everything? But that's not what this is. It's making me think, because now I have two dots in there. So it's like getting from point A to point B. There's a planet or something or some place in the universe or whatever, out there in outer space, where we want to go, where mankind wants to go, where you want to go, whatever. You want to get from point A to point B. But it will take forever. Like, you know, you'll never get there in your own lifetime, because you don't live that fucking long, kind of thing, because it's like 1,000 light years away or some shit, you know? I don't understand that stuff, so I'm probably explaining that wrong, but you get the gist. So like with the little wormhole, it basically shoots you over there. so you can get the information faster. Because it's making me think of the flash between 2 points, which is taking off really fast. The flash between 2 points is taking off really fast, because at first it made me think of the Big Bang Theory, but this is almost like supersonic speed. I don't know what it is, like moving so fast, because it's like, oh, we're right here, and it's going to take 1,000 years to get over here, whatever it is. It could just be 100 years, who knows. And it's like, okay, I need to get there now. Like, I can't wait this long. And then, I don't know, something just speeds up, and in a flash it happens. In a flash it happens. In a flash everything changes. Okay, why the fuck am I talking about this? In a flash everything changes. It doesn't feel like a gunshot, though. In a flash everything changes. It feels like dimensional shifts is what it feels like. But, a lot of times anyone who's into conspiracy theories, they're into aliens and stuff like that, will have a generalized understanding of this, because if you think about it, we're not the only life form out there. We're just not. I don't care what anyone says, no matter what you call whatever's out there, no matter what label you put on it, we're not alone. You know what I mean? You'd have to be very close-minded to think that the only life in all of the universe is on Earth. This little speck, just saying. But anyways, so because things are so vast like that, we're not as advanced. There we go. There are other life forms more advanced than us that can speed shit up. You know what I mean? Is what I'm getting at. They can get from point A to point B a lot fucking faster than we can. Which is spirit. And I've always said, I'm not from here. My soul is not from here. And a lot of different people, not the majority of the population, but there are quite a few. I know it's gonna sound weird. There are quite a few extraterrestrials living right among you. They could be your friend, your child, your lover, your family member. It could be a stranger that just walks by. Just saying. Because it's not all creepy like, alien versus predator shit. And a lot of it's energetic. And there are some life forms who were actually born here, but your abilities and your spiritual lineage, your soul, is not human. Do you want to just leave it at that? I guess that's the easiest way I can explain that. I don't know why the hell I'm talking about that all of a sudden. It's like, oh, let's make this make sense, and then let's talk about something that's like gonna blow everybody else's fucking minds. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's somebody's listening. It's his headphones. Oh, that's reminding me of the static. Because, like rabbit ears, I was thinking of a TV with the snow, like, and that popped in my head yesterday, I believe it was. And I'm like, what the hell is that about? It's just like nothing's coming in. You got to get on the right frequency. It's just like a radio. It's just like using those rabbit ears. That's how you can explain intuition, psychic abilities, and mind reading. I'm just going to say, you got to get on the same frequency, because you're not going to pick up that channel. You're not going to pick up the radio station, whatever it is. Whatever it is, you're just going to hear static. Nothing will be there until you make adjustments. Has something to do with that. Yeah. That's important, because the pen fell on it. It's also something to do with portals. Portals. Which are like, they're similar to like wormholes, like portals and stuff. Portals. I don't know, because for some reason I just want to say this doesn't, like, it might sound like a fictional tale or be in a sci-fi show or movie, but the way that people think of it is, it's fiction, but the way that it actually is you wouldn't even know that's happening. Like, how do I explain it? It's almost like, I've talked about this before, so it's very similar to this. I'm not saying exactly how it is, but this is kind of the gist of what I'm getting. You know how you walk into a room and you forget? Like, you're like, oh, I'm on a mission, I gotta get this. You walk in, you go, why the hell am I even in here? I don't even remember why I walked in here at all. I have no clue. And then you walk back through the doorway or wherever the hell you were, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. And then you walk back and you're like, what the hell? I forgot again. And then all of a sudden you walk back and then you remember finally. These portals and little loops or holes or whatever, they move. Because you figure a lot of people don't think about this on the regular because the earth, you know, the gravitational pull, it's always spinning. We're always moving. And we don't feel like we're moving because of gravity. Do you know what I mean? So those little spots move too. And every now and again we hit one. And it's just a minor change. It's not like your whole world changes. For some people it can, depends. Food for thought. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about that. But there's something to think about while I process the other stuff. So anyways, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.